Hello, human! Did you know that some people listen to YouTube videos to change parts of their body?
What?
No, I'm not kidding. Literally thousands of people are listening to music to change their eye color, enlarge their penis, cure erectile dysfunction, and even gain psychic powers like telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, or opening their third eye. Want to know why they believe they have these powers and you don't? Stick with us. Let's begin. In recent years, people have labeled TikTok as the breeding ground for fake news and pseudoscience. While it is one of the main platforms for spreading misinformation and pseudoscientific rhetoric today, it is far from being the origin of it all. Many of today's conspiracy theories have been floating around the internet for decades, and many come from books, fanzines, conferences of dubious figures, and conspiracy groups. Some of these stories are based on real events, exaggerated to the extreme, in order to create an aura of mystery and mysticism that attracts the gullible. One of the many victims of internet conspiracy theories and falsehoods is research on binaural beats. Binaural beats are two sounds of different frequencies played simultaneously through each ear. These sounds are not new. They were first studied over 200 years ago in research on human sound perception. Thanks to experiments with these tones, we have learned a lot about how the brain processes sound and how we perceive the location of sound sources. At some point in the 20th century, it was believed that these sounds could influence human behavior, though experiments on this were unsuccessful. The topic went unnoticed until, in the middle of the century, an American would bring it back into the conversation. Robert Monroe, a radio broadcaster from Indiana, became obsessed with the idea of practicing sleep learning. This technique supposedly allows one to acquire new knowledge during sleep. While Monroe listened to audio for learning during sleep, he experienced an out-of-body experience. Briefly, an out-of-body experience, popularly known as astral projection, is the alleged ability to see oneself outside of the body. This experience changed Monroe's life, leading him to found an institute to study altered states of consciousness. His studies focused on using binaural music to trigger this altered state of consciousness. Thanks to his research, he developed and patented HemiSync in 1975. This is a technology that uses binaural sounds to induce the mentioned mental state. Monroe and his team claimed that using it produced positive effects on health, mood, and especially sleep hygiene. As evident, Monroe's work is linked to pseudoscience. There is no solid scientific evidence supporting the positive effects of these sounds. At least, not much different from the effect that regular music has. Serious scientific studies on the effects of music do show that it can affect mood and reduce stress and anxiety levels. You don't have to be a music lover to experience this. You've probably experienced it yourself by listening to your favorite songs. In fact, platforms like Spotify even have playlists designed to create psychological impacts for specific tasks. There are playlists for studying, working out, and even for intimacy. That said, the Monroe Institute claims to still be investigating the topic. Looking at their data online, they present themselves as a non-profit organization. However, if you check their official websites, they sell binaural audio CDs for an average price of 21 euros, with some going over an outrageous 400 euros. For a non-profit, they seem to be doing quite well. Starting in 2007, when YouTube began to gain popularity as a video platform, many users began uploading binaural music similar to HemiSyncs. Over time, these tracks evolved into more complex musical mixes, even adding ambient sounds. The goal was simple: prevent the average user from getting bored with strange noises, so they would continue playing the audio as long as possible. Between 2008 and 2009, videos started appearing with binaural music and mixes promising utterly absurd things. Activate the third eye, talk to animals, summon your guardian angel, enlarge your penis, improve sexual performance, make your ex come back, and develop powers like telepathy, bilocation, telekinesis, and more. It's unclear if one user started this trend or if it grew organically. Regardless, one video emerged that was even more absurd but gained a bigger impact. Music to change the color of your eyes. Who watches these videos? Hundreds of thousands of people. Some watch out of sheer curiosity and for a laugh, while others believe they found a trick to make the impossible happen. The people who listen to these audios in hopes of seeing real changes might do so out of ignorance or simply because they have too much free time. After all, what do they have to lose? All they need are headphones and to let the audio play while working or sleeping, something nearly everyone can do. If you check the comments, it's clear that many people are joking about it. Some contribute to the myth saying it works, and of course, there are those who are genuinely intrigued. I would even bet that a small percentage of those laughing have some doubts about whether it works or not. As ridiculous as it sounds, these videos have been circulating on the internet for years, and new ones keep appearing with millions of views. Of course, it's a harmless nonsense that doesn't hurt anyone. You only waste your time listening to it, and if the channel is monetized, you might even contribute financially. If anyone still has doubts about whether these audios work, I can say with total confidence, they don't. There's no way a sound wave or brain stimulation can change your eye color, enlarge your banana, or stop aging, let alone give you supernatural powers that no one has ever proven to exist. In the specific case of eyes, their color is determined by genetics and the amount of melanin in the iris. There is no physical or paranormal method that can change this. The only procedure that allows for a change is keratopigmentation, a delicate surgery mainly for those with corneal conditions. So, what about the few people who claim to see results? Of course, there's always the placebo effect. When someone believes strongly in these audios, their mind ends up seeing what they want. The power of suggestion is powerful, and in many cases, it makes people perceive things that aren't really there. Another factor could be the change in lighting. Depending on the light and its intensity, our eyes may appear a different shade. Someone who doesn't usually see themselves under direct light might notice a difference, but only those who believe in these audios would associate it with a physical change. It's similar to how we feel when watching a scary movie at night. If we're very susceptible, any shadow can make us uneasy. Music has deep effects on humans, though we are far from fully understanding its reach. There are studies showing how certain sounds, when used strategically, can have very specific effects. For example, we know that some frequencies can disorient people and cause nausea in political demonstrations. It's also known that elevator music reduces discomfort in enclosed spaces, making time feel like it's passing faster. Similarly, in stores and supermarkets, specific rhythms and tones are chosen to influence consumer behavior, encouraging them to buy more and do so quickly. But recognizing how much we still have to learn about the brain and psyche is one thing, and believing any nonsense from the internet is another. Today, we see how post-truth, conspiracies, and fake news are severely affecting our society. Not just with harmless topics like changing eye color or believing Atlantis existed. We're talking about serious matters, such as denying the climate crisis, thinking that weather tragedies are caused by the HARP, or believing that homeopathy is a valid alternative for serious diseases. But this video is already long, so we'll leave those topics for another video. If you like this content, give us a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. It's free. Let us know which of these powers you'd like to have and why. If I could choose one, I'd definitely change mine. See you next time. Good luck.